Hello, my chaotic goblin family, and welcome to the chaos that is my twice weekly stream night with pets in the room. Um, so today we are still working on Eevee, but we're like this close to being done. We're so close. So grab a cup of something warm and toasty. Um, I'm cold, so I'm drinking tea. I recommend tea or coffee or something, hot cocoa, something that makes you feel warm and cozy. And grab whatever crafting thing you want to work on tonight, and let's do some crafting together. Hello, Kaley. How are you doing? Hello, Rita. Hi, and welcome. So yeah, I think I'm pretty confident that we can get Eevee finished up tonight. We just have like a little bit of brown left to just like finish up outlining, and then we just have to add the eyes. We gotta give our Eevee a soul, which, as you know, is I always think it's funny to have that be the last thing that we do. Kaley, already! Oh my gosh. All right, so Kaley has already hit the redemption for let's finish a hoop of something else. You couldn't wait for the Eevee to be done. No soul. No soul. Kaley doesn't want me to add the soul to the Eevee yet. So I guess we're gonna finish off a hoop. So Kaley, are we gonna be doing a 4, 5, 6, or 7-inch hoop? What are we finishing up? Demented Lemming, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate that. A 5-inch hoop. Okay. I think I only have one more 5-inch hoop. Let's hope I have one, and let's hope that this isn't the last 5-inch hoop that I have. Let me make sure I have a hoop before we pull out the 5-inch file. I like how it gave you the option of a 5-inch hoop before I was like, ah, yes, I have one. Okay, we're good. Before I, without being confident that I actually had the tools for that, but I do. I think this is my last one though, so there will be no more 5-inch hoop redemptions tonight. I'm debating whether or not I want to order like a whole bunch of them, like 20 of them, or dang it, I moved my trash can back where it actually goes, but like when I'm streaming, I need it like right here, and it's not right here right now. So, yeah, so I'm debating whether I want to like order like a whole stack of them or whether I just want to like keep buying them one or two at a time, like from the craft store. And I think, honestly, I think I'm just gonna like buy a whole bunch of them because I just keep going through them. Like, oh, hold on. Do I have another 5-inch hoop hiding over here? I do. I have two. Surprise. Eyeballs. I had another one that was like hiding over here. I was probably using it for something. But yeah, so so we are gonna finish one up before potato chip cookies. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds like salty and crunchy and delicious. Open this one. This is 5-inch hoops. 5-inch hoops are like kind of my staple size, honestly. Like they're my favorite size to work with. I don't know, like they're like a nice size for like the amount of time it takes you to stitch. And then like the actual like hooping process, they're not too big that they're unwieldy, and they're not too small that they're like a pain in the butt to get in there. But yeah, so that's kind of my preference. Hi Beck, how you doing? Okay, so Kaley, what are we doing? We've got Grimer, we've got Rattata, we've got Mr. Mime, we've got Seadra, and we've got Charmeleon. So these are the last of the 5-inch ones that I have to hoop. I have hooped a lot of 5-inch ones up on the wall so far. And as you will notice, the Cubone, Ninetales, and Lapras that we finished off on, what is today? Today's Sunday. On Wednesday's stream, I did not get those up on the wall yet. because I don't know where Brian put the hammer or the little nails that we use. So I don't know where those are. And he's on a business trip. So I'm going to have to wait for him to get back. So it's going to be a few days. But what that means, he's gone today. He's still going to be out of town when we do our Wednesday stream this week. So it likely will not be until like next Sunday that you'll see these 3 hoops plus whatever I hoop today and Wednesday to actually make it up onto the wall. We're over halfway across the wall now. Like, hold on, I'm gonna move this and show you. Like, we do have some empty space on that side of the wall, but I don't really like sit over there, which is why we like filled up this space first. But yeah, so like we still have like plenty of space to go. I just need to stitch faster is moral of the story. A little sad because I didn't do the best one today. That's okay. Sometimes our best is not the best we've ever done, and that's okay. That's okay. We can have up days and we can have down days. Today is not the best that I've ever done. Today's been a day. There is a reason that I decided to dress like a little cottagecore NPC that would stop and give you a quest in an RPG. I was like, I want to dress like a hobbit today, except I have no like vests or like waistcoats, so like the bodice was the closest I could do. So I went with the bodice. And it did help with the mental healthness side of things today. Sometimes wearing the bodice is very not okay. Like sometimes I'm not comfortable in it, and other times it's like all I want to wear. And so like today I was pleasantly surprised. I kind of thought it was going to be like I don't want to wear this type of day, so I was like fully prepared to like take it off halfway through the day and just be like forget it. But no, it's actually like it's working for me today. I don't know what happened the last time I wore it, but I was like, it didn't help. It actually made things worse, which happens sometimes. I'm out of 4 inches, so I'm taking Bulbasaur out to make Togepi. That's how come I have so many that just are like loose and aren't in hoops, is because for a long time I only had like 1 or 2 of like each size. And so I didn't ever finish them off and actually put them on the wall. I would just pull the hoop off and reuse the hoop to stitch the next one. And so I just ended up with like a giant pile that weren't finished. So yeah. So Charmeleon is again another one of those older ones. And his colors don't look quite right to me. He looks very red to me. Hold on. Let me take a look at something real quick. Is this a shiny? I don't think so. I feel like the shiny Charmeleon, I mean, I guess it's possible. I don't know what color shiny Charmeleon is. Let's take a look. No, he would be gold. Okay, he's just very red to me. He's not shiny. He's just very red. Okay, so I rehooped him. I like made sure he was like more centered in the piece. I stitched him with a bigger hoop. You can like see the crease. So I must have used a 6-inch hoop when I was actually stitching him, which is totally fine. And it's totally okay to stitch in a bigger hoop than you're gonna finish them off in. Which is totally fine. It actually makes it a lot easier because then you for sure like won't have to iron it, because like the crease is going to be outside of what you see. We'll make sure he's busy hanging the hoops when he gets back. Yeah, he actually like doesn't mind doing it. He's really sweet about it, and like he's like really, really supportive. He is wonderful. I love him so much. I wish the shinies had more contrast to their originals, like shiny Pikachu, just slightly richer yellow. Yeah, some of them are like not very different at all. Like, shiny Squirtle is like, instead of having a brown shell, it has like a light green shell, and then it's just like a different shade of blue. But shiny Blastoise is like purple with like a green shell, like a dark green shell. And I know that because I was making shiny patterns today. So surprised for those of you who are my Patreons, and we have been talking about me making a shiny library that is exclusive for you guys. I did actually get a chance to get started on that today. And let me tell you, I was like, oh, this won't take very long. I'm just changing the color palette, right? You would think. It turns out it is legitimately taking me just as long to like swap out the color palette as it did to like make the original patterns. It is, I don't know why, but I sat down and I did get through like 8 of them today, and I am exhausted. It took me like 6 hours to get through like 8 of them, which is a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought I was going to be able to get through them in like 15, 20 minutes tops for each one. Oh my god, this trash can is like not anywhere close to me. You don't like this. Okay. I like legit thought that it was gonna take me like half the amount of time that it ended up taking me. It was taking me like 45 minutes each. So I was hoping to get through like, 20 of them today, and I got through 8. Which is still like a good number of them. But I do have 44 patterns in the library. So I still have quite a ways to go. So I finished 8 out of 44 so far. So it's probably going to take me a month or 2 maybe. Well, it depends. My kids are on spring break in like a week. So I can maybe set aside a good amount of time and get through a bunch more. Not this week, but next week. But yeah, so those of you that don't know, I do offer all of my patterns through my Etsy shop, but I also have a Patreon page where you can get access to the entire library for a fraction of the cost that it would to just buying all of the patterns individually. I do also have Patreon exclusive patterns, and I'm working on creating shiny patterns for all of them, which are also going to be Patreon exclusive. And so like I don't have all of the patterns that I've made listed on my Etsy. And so for the $12 tier, you get access to the entire library of patterns that I've made so far. And I promise to add at least 4 every month. And this month, like I told all my Patreons ahead of time, I'm going to be adding 5. I'm going to be adding 5 patterns this month. And I surprised them by actually adding 8 patterns this month. So they're all already in the library. So the 5 they knew about were Poliwag, Oddish, Meryl, Mudkip, and Piplup. And then I also added Tyranitar, Jigglypuff, and Murkrow. So yeah, it's been a very busy month, week, day, all of the things. But that said, like I'm doing good. I'm getting things checked off of my to-do list, even if things are taking me a lot longer than I was hoping it would take me. And that's okay. Okay, so I cut my little circle, and I trimmed all my little tabbies, and now we just have to pull out some floss to stitch the back of this shut. Oh, look at that. We already have a piece. Is that long enough? Sure. We're going to call that good. So, yeah. It's been a weekend. But yeah, so, the other really cool thing, I've been talking for a while about how I was working on version 2 of the patterns, and how I figured out how I want the patterns to look and like how I want to build them, at least for generations 1 through 5. Generation 6 on, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck I want to do with those because they're just not how I want them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is overlap 2 tabs, and I'm going to stitch up through both layers. And then the next 2 tabs, I'm going to stitch down through both layers. I'm actually going to do this because it's a little close to the edge on this one. Stitch through one layer and then the other. Ow! I poked myself. I don't like doing it this way. There we go. Okay. Oh, it pulled loose. It absolutely pulled loose. Okay. Cool. That's fun. We're gonna pull that out. We're gonna start that again. Even when you're a professional, you make mistakes. And crap happens. All right, you know what? We're gonna start on this side of it. This is a really, really, really old piece. I can tell for a number of reasons. One, it has a slight discoloration because I started making these when I was some of these are very old. I was about 15 and I'm 33 now. So the first ones I made were probably when I was like 15, 16, something like that. So they've literally been to every single house and apartment that I've lived in like as an adult and like moving across the country several times. And stuff like that, and not being in hoops and not necessarily being kept properly, especially when I was in my early 20s and like didn't care about things like I do now. But this one, like the Ida cloth is really, really soft and worked. So I know that it's old. It has some discoloration. Like there is a ton of fraying around the edges of the Ida cloth. So this is definitely one of the earlier pieces that I've stitched. So I'm not surprised that it's a little troublesome on the back. It's fine. The nice thing about it being like this soft from like just being handled so much is that it folds down really flat and it's much nicer to like touch. But it does mean it's going to be a little bit more prone to fraying and stuff like that as I stitch it and whatnot. Like I probably should have done the E6000 method on this one, but I didn't. I committed to sewing it. So here we are. This is me committing. Wednesday, why are you in my sewing box? My little girl. I love you so much, you sweet kitten. Here we go. We're almost done. I love when Ida cloth has been worked and it's so nice and soft. Like, it's just so much nicer to handle. I don't know why. Okay, I'm gonna go through a couple extra stitches, especially because it is so worked and like needs a little extra love. There we go. But there we go. We're gonna tie off Charmeleon. Megan Finey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Finny, I'm sorry, I said Finey. Finny, Megan Finny. There we go. I can read. Alright. And scrap into my little scrap jar. And there we go. Charmeleon's all finished. There's 4 for the pile of things that Brian's gonna have to put up on the wall when he gets home from his trip. Almost spilled tea all over myself. I saw the D&D movie yesterday. How was it? I've heard other people say it was really good. Like, they were surprised at how good it was. I'm a little bit worried about it, or at least I was, like, when I saw the trailer and stuff. it kind of looks like, okay, so you thought it was good too. Okay. It kind of has like fantasy Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, which like I'm okay with, but like also it can go very, very badly if they don't do it well. So I was a little worried about that. But so far that everybody that I know that has seen it has said that it was good and they really, really enjoyed it. So I will probably go see it at some point. I don't know when that is. Ooh, I wonder if I could talk Brian into going and seeing it in a week when the kids are with their dad for spring break. Because I feel like that's the perfect opportunity to like go see a movie with no kiddos and like. Okay, I'm highlighting because once again, I didn't do it last time. How do I fall into this trap every single time? This is my fatal flaw, is not highlighting as I go, but only when I'm live streaming. When I'm not live streaming, I'm actually like super OCD about highlighting as I go. Okay, so we've got our last shade of brown. Perfect, I do have the correct one. I didn't misplace it. Wait, but Eevee, I know. Eevee came back. We are going to finish up Eevee. It was just that Kaley redeemed a finish a Pokemon hoop, so I had to like pause to do that. Because that's how it goes. It is PG, FYI. Oh, nice. Yeah, my kids just both have ADHD, and sitting still in a movie theater is not necessarily their strong suit. So I don't want to torture anybody else who's paying $50 to go see a movie by subjecting them to my children. Are we gonna finish? I have points to spend. Oh my gosh. But if we finish, you guys also get to vote on which one I stitch next. So like, there is that. Like, there is that. Milksop Boy, hello, how are you doing? Lucky One Rip, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. What are you wearing? I see a bit of it and it looks beautiful. Oh, thank you. I actually made a video today showing off what I'm wearing. I am wearing this like yellow, like mustard yellow floral print skirt thing. With a dark blue corduroy bodice, and underneath the bodice is like a kind of rusty, orangey, browny like tank top. And then like just a little beige knit cardigan thing, jacket, I don't know what the heck it's called, over the top, because I was like, I need mental health points today. So I'm gonna dress like an NPC about to give you a quest to like go retrieve stuff out of the forest for me or something. I don't know. I don't know what my oh jeez, kitten. Okay, cat just like sprang at me. My son has autism. I have autism too. It's not necessarily fun, but it is what it is. Squirtle, maybe Squirtle next. We'll have to see. I think we're still working our way through the evolutions. So far, we have done Leafeon and Glaceon and Sylveon, and then we're just finishing up Eevee. So we still have five left to do. Is that right? I think we have 5 left to do. But yeah. It seems like these take me roughly like 4 or so streams to get through. So it seems like we've been getting through one every like 2 weeks or so-ish. It depends on like how many Pokemon hoops I'm finishing during a stream and how big the actual piece is that I'm stitching. Like Sylveon took longer because Sylveon's massive. But oh my god, stop getting hooked around the corner of that. Good lord. I have dyslexia and my parents think they have it too, but my sister is fine. I mean, sometimes stuff runs in families, and sometimes people get passed over with the genetics being weird. I'm sitting here like, yo, family, I have autism and ADHD, and my family's like, no, you couldn't possibly. And I'm like, it's genetic. Where did it come from? And I'm like, you. It most definitely came from you. And they're like, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, okay, we'll talk again when you've had time to process. Because it definitely did. My dad straight up was like, no, everybody's like that. And I'm like, no. Dad, this is definitely not a normal way to think, and it's definitely not like a normal like stuff to have to do to cope. So like I'm glad that you don't see it as a disability, but like definitely other parts of my behavior are explained by this diagnosis than just the parts that you say are normal. I can stay until 7:30 and then I have to go be a mod. I don't know when 7:30 is because for me that was half an hour ago. Broken Bonds Crochet, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I'm doing good. Good. Lumi and the dabbing octopus. Nice. I like how you switched it up this time, specifically because of what I said last time. I gotta have her. I'm just hoping to see Eevee finish. Oh, I will not be able to finish this in a half an hour. I know that much about myself. I will be streaming for about 2.5 more hours. I will stream until 10:30 my time, and it is almost 8 o'clock right now. And I'm thinking I will probably finish up in at least the second half of the stream. But if you want, I do post like the replays of the live streams over on my YouTube channel. So the live stream, the recap or whatever, the replay of it will be up. It'll be up on Twitch for like a week or two, something like that. I can't remember how long it stays up on the air for. But then I will post it over to YouTube in like a day or two usually. But yeah, so if you ever like miss seeing the beginning of a piece or the end of a piece or something like that, and you're like, dang, I really wanted to see how that looked when it was done, you can always find it on there. And I need to be better about like posting actual TikTok videos, being like, look what we finished up, and like actually showing it off. But if I don't do it right away, I'll forget, and by the time it's 10:30, I'm a pumpkin and I need to go to bed. So I never make the video like right then and there, even though I definitely probably should. But yeah, so I need to try and be better about that. Oh, I didn't know that. Yes. I am also in the process of moving, not all of my TikTok content, but the vast majority of my TikTok content, over to YouTube as well. So I have been like saving all of my videos and transferring them over there, you know, just in case the TikTok ban does go through. I won't have lost all of the videos that I've made over the past couple of years. So like if you, just in case they do stuff, if you want to go follow me somewhere else, like I will absolutely continue to make content. It's just a matter of where it will be if that happens. And if it doesn't end up happening, I'm just going to continue to keep doing things the way I do them, and I'll just cross post my stuff onto YouTube anyway, because, you know, why not? I doubt it will, just because TikTok makes too much money. I mean, it's also not specifically about TikTok. I want to say, Wednesday, what are you doing, miss? If you are eating the feathers on my quill again, I'm gonna be very upset. You already tried to kill it twice. Could you please just leave it alone? This, I swear. This cat. The babies are hungry, I see. They are always hungry, and now I have Clover pawing around at my feet. I think that they knew that you joined the stream, and so they came over when they heard me say Lumi, because they know that Lumi redeems treat time. So, Lumi has redeemed treat time. Hold on. What is this? That's in the way. Can you see the dog, or just my skirt? I don't know. Okay. Here we go. Okay, okay. Hi, doggo. Okay. Old lady doggo first. There you go, Clover. Good girl. Wednesday's gonna scratch me. It's gonna hurt because she's up on my shoulder. Hello, sweet boy. Hello, August. Good boy. Wednesday? Oh, hello. You're up here. Okay, cool. That was super mellow. I like that. If you're gonna be nice and just hang out up here, you can absolutely do that. I'm cool with that. Hi. You can't be in my lap though, because I know you were in my lap all night last night when we were streaming Stardew Valley. I know. I know. Okay, ow, ow, ow. You can't climb me. I'm not a tree. All three of yous, I swear, thinking I'm a tree that you can just climb. Procrastination Nation, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I forgot the band. The band. I don't know the band. Is that? I'm not gonna hit it? Okay, we're good. Hi, Wednesday. Sweet girl. Oh, and she's gone. Goodbye, Wednesday. Hold on, Candy. Okay. Yes, Clover. Hello. Hi, Wednesday. I love you. Sweet girl. You're just giving me the sniffies. I have the sweetest babies. We're Pavloving them with your name as the command word. I know, right? I already can't say TREAT until it's actually time because they know what it means. But now they're starting to learn to associate it with other things because they ain't stupid. I mean, August does, but the girls are smart. August is just the sweetest little simpleton. What kind of dog? My dog is a Chihuahua mix of some kind. We don't really know exactly what she's mixed with. Everyone says she looks like a miniature greyhound until you actually put her next to a miniature greyhound, and then you're like, that's not quite right. So we like legit don't know what she's mixed with, and like there's kind of no point doing genetic testing. She's 10 years old, like she is what she is. And then we've got the two kittens who were feral born. So they were born to a feral in our old neighborhood in California before we moved. And we took them in when they were about 5 or so weeks old, 4 or 5 weeks old. And they're about 8.5 months now. So, sorry. Clover is now playing with August. August, I swear, dude, you need to figure out how to play with her the way she wants to play. He wants to so badly, and he just cannot figure it out. They're like not in a good position, otherwise I would like move the camera so you can see them play, because they're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, Clover. He's chasing her. He's chasing you! That's what you wanted! That's what you wanted! I know, you actually want to chase him, but that's not gonna happen. He's not gonna run away from you. As much as you think that would be really fun. He would not. TikTok ban. No, not TikTok ban. The TikTok ban. B-A-N. With the Restrict Act in the United States. She has long legs. She does have long legs. She's a very, like, tall, skinny little dog. pattern recognition is elite. Hello, sweet girl. I'm still not going to let you in my lap because you will knock things over and create more chaos than I can handle while I am stitching. You think I don't know, but I know these things. I will not fall for it. I've tried to let you in the past, and it doesn't end well usually. Oh, I got a fuzzy. Okay. I want to learn how to do this, but it looks so complicated. I actually have a how to cross stitch guide. There's a link in my bio to it that will walk you through like what you do, what you need, all of that good stuff. And I am working on a video tutorial series as well. Honestly, it is way, way, way easier than it looks. Have you ever done like diamond painting or like making friendship bracelets like with pattern, like the alpha patterns or perler beads or like anything along those lines? Okay, so if you do diamond painting, this is essentially the exact same concept, except we're stitching a little tiny X instead of putting a diamond there. You're using a pattern that looks just like the diamond painting patterns. It's the exact same concept. So if you've done that before, you are golden. All you have to do is stitch little tiny X's. That's it. Thank you for the follow, Diana. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's literally all I'm doing is stitching little tiny X's and following the pattern that's in my lap that you guys can't see because it's in my lap. Do you think having a stand helps with any neck and back issues you might run into while stitching? It possibly can. I don't know that my stand helped with my back and neck issues so much as it helped with my hand and wrist issues. So I used to have some trouble with physically holding the hoop and like flipping it back and forth over and over and over. So like the wrist rotation motion and then like the physically holding the hoop. Like I know they're not heavy, but over time it does accumulate. Like you can hold a light thing for a long time, but eventually it is going to feel heavy. So it was very much that. So having the stand has made it so I can stitch for like way, way longer than I had ever been able to stitch without it. I can stitch for hours and hours now and like not have any issues. The stand can help if you make sure you're setting it up so that you're in like a good back and neck aligned position. So like you still have to have a chair or a couch that's going to help support you, and then the stand can help keep you in a good position. Whereas like I'm a chaos person, so I often like sit in at funny angles and like stuff like that. Like I slouch because sitting up straight actually hurts. I have scoliosis in my back, so this is me sitting up perfectly straight, but I can't sit like this for more than a few seconds before it's already starting to hurt actually. Okay. So it is actually incredibly painful for me to sit up straight like that. So for me, like, I can't really talk about, like, did it help with my back and neck issues, because, like, I'm gonna have them regardless of what I do, because scoliosis. Yay! Hi, kitten. More chaos! Erica Carmen, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I find cross stitching more enjoyable than diamond painting. I have never actually tried diamond painting, but I have a feeling that I would like this better. I haven't tried diamond painting specifically because I don't need another expensive hobby. I need to just stick with the hobbies that I already have. But that said, like, if somebody sent me a diamond painting kit, I would definitely try it out. But I still think I'm gonna like this better. I've been doing this for so long, and, like, I know that I like this. But everybody has different things that they like for different reasons and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Are you live on another platform as well? I am. I am live over on Twitch as well as on TikTok. So I am talking to people on both platforms. So if it sounds like I jump back and forth, it is. But I do come back and I make sure I check the comments on both places so I'm not missing people's comments. So if it looks like I'm ignoring you and I'm talking to somebody else and you don't see the comment that I'm talking about, it's probably because of that, and I promise I will come back and, like, scroll back through the comments to make sure I don't miss stuff. But yeah. Okay, so Kaley has redeemed finishing another Pokemon hoop, so we're going to take a quick pause from Eevee again. So Kaley, what size hoop are we going to be finishing now? A 6-inch hoop. Okay, let's see who we've got in our 6-inch size bracket. I need a 6-inch hoop. What size are you? Where's my 5-inch hoop? That's a 6-inch hoop. Cool. I can usually eyeball them correctly, but I always like to make sure. Occasionally I get it wrong. Are you guys the 6-inches? Yes. Okay. Here's my folder with my 6-inch babies. Okay. So we've got Raichu. So Kaley, tell me what we're finishing. Raichu, Marowak, Graveler, Golem, Venomoth, Poliwhirl, Beedrill, and Mewtwo is a 6-inch hoop. Okay, I didn't mess that up. Cool. All right, what are we finishing? This hoop is sticky. It's got, like, the sticky gunk from where, like, the sticker was attached to it. Mewtwo. Okay. Let's get some Mewtwo going. I'm gonna pull him out, set him over there. We're gonna fold this up and put it away. All right. Okay, no, I don't like this hoop. This hoop is also has, like, a weird rust spot on the top of the thingy. Okay, that's a 6-inch hoop. We're just gonna set that one aside. That one's gonna go live over there. That's probably one of my older ones from a long time ago. We're gonna pretend that one doesn't exist. I really need to go get some more hoops now. I'm almost out of some sizes. And then I have, like, way too many, like, 8-inch hoops or something like that, which is funny because I don't have, like, oof, you are going to be a tight squeeze, my dude. You actually, I might need to move this up to a 7-inch hoop. I might need to. We will see. If he fits, he's going to be squishy. Oh, no, he'll be okay. There we go. Yeah. I feel like he'd be more comfy in a 7-inch hoop. Even though, like, he does technically fit, I feel like this is just, like, not a lot of room. Whatever. We're gonna leave him in here. He's gonna be fine. He can live in here. It's fun. If you ever do a ponytail or Rapidash, let me know. I'm a horse fan. So I have been stitching, like, all of them live as I've been making them. I don't think I have Ponyta or Rapidash done yet, though. I don't remember seeing it, and I don't remember stitching it. But we are working our way through these. Like I said, some of these are old, and they were done with patterns made by somebody else many years ago, and the patterns are no longer available. So I started making my own patterns, so I'm going to be actually restitching a lot of these that I've already stitched. So like this Mewtwo was made with somebody else's pattern, but the Eevee, the ones that I'm stitching currently are from my own patterns that I have made. So the other thing is, why is this camera at such a bad angle? I apologize, y'all. So like I have an old Eevee from a different pattern, and I will probably end up like selling it off and like selling off a lot of these older ones, because like I don't need 2 copies of them, and I only want the ones that are from the patterns that I made, you know? And stuff like that. So eventually, a lot of these that I'm finishing even now on the live stream and everything, these are the older ones from the older patterns that weren't mine. I'll probably end up selling them off, or maybe like what I might do is I might do like some auctions for charity or like things like that. Yeah, because I think that would be really cool. Because I went to all the trouble of like stitching them originally, and like I'm gonna end up restitching them. Clover, I know you want to play with him. You have to let him chase you. He doesn't understand. He's just a baby. I know. I am aware. You can tell me about it all you want, but there is nothing I can do about it. I cannot make him run away from you. He does not understand me. August, just run away from her, my dude. Hello, sweet boy. Oh, you actually leaned in to be pet for a second. Oh, you sweetheart. He's so head shy. He like does not like to be pet very often. He's like very picky about being pet. I think it would cry having to repeat so many patterns. More power to you though. I have definitely gone through an entire grieving process over this project, because I have been working on this project for over 15 years now, and I finally made it past the halfway point, and I got to the point where I was just like, I want to make my own patterns, and I have the skills and I have the means to do that now. So I had made somewhere between like 75 and 80. Like I had stitched like between 75 and 80. And I had to go through like an entire like coming to terms with, I'm gonna have to let these pieces go and start fresh. So it's been a lot to kind of process. And then I like started making my own patterns, and I started stitching a few of them, and then I realized I didn't like how the patterns were coming out. And so that's why I keep talking about like, oh, I made version 2 of these patterns and stuff. So truth be told, I have only finished stitching 2 of them with my new version 2 patterns, and they are Leafeon and Glaceon. And my goal is to stitch the first 150, and for those of you keeping track at home, Leafeon and Glaceon are not part of the original 150. I take that back. I've also stitched Abra, but Abra lives in my partner's office because it's his favorite. So I've stitched 1 out of 150. So Eevee will be number 2. That being said, am I going to continue to only stitch during lives? No, I will probably be stitching some of them off screen and stuff like that as well, as time goes on. But I'm also taking on a mega monster project of the giant tapestry piece and things like that. So I'm just coming to terms with the fact that like this is just a lifelong project for me, and I'm probably never going to really like be fully finished and done with it, and that's okay because it's about the journey and not like the end goal. Because like when I come to the end goal and I'm done, like what am I gonna do then? Like I don't know, does it matter? I'll figure it out when I get there. So for now I'm basically starting my entire journey to 150 over again, and I think I'm okay with that. Like, I think I just kind of have to be okay with that at this point. But I definitely did go through about 6 months of going back and forth on whether I wanted to do that. And eventually what kind of pushed me over the edge, what made me decide to do that, is I realized that a few of the ones that I had made with like the original person's patterns, they had made patterns for the shiny versions and not the normal versions. So like the Squirtle that I made from the original version was a shiny Squirtle with a green shell, not an original Squirtle. And there was a few random ones like that. And then I had also made, well, hello kitten. I had also made a mistake and mislabeled one of my bobbins at some point. And so what should have been like a shade of, I don't know if it was like a pink or a brown or something, I accidentally put a blue, like I dyslexia mixed up some numbers, and I put a shade of blue on that bobbin instead of the proper shade. And so I actually messed up 2 separate pieces before I figured out what I had done. So Clefairy and Gloom, I think, I would have had to restitch anyway. So if anyone wants a funky Clefairy or a funky Gloom or a shiny Squirtle, let me know. Because I have some weird ones that are like one of a kind. Never gonna make those again. But yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with kind of all of these ones that I finished but didn't, but I'm not like I'm gonna keep them for now, but like in the long run I need to figure out what I'm doing with them. So like I said, I think donating them for things like auctions or for charity to be auctioned off and things like that is probably pretty high on my list of things that I would consider doing with them. I mean, I could also sell them. I have sold a few of them. I sold Pikachu. I sold the original Eevee that I had made. I don't know. I sold a few others as well. But by and large, like, unless somebody reaches out and says, hey, have you made this one? I'm interested in it. I'm not like active, like I'm not putting these up on my Etsy and being like, hey, if somebody wants to buy them, they're for sale. They're just kind of living on my wall right now. So I don't know. It just kind of is what it is. It's not a big deal though. It just means my, oh, hello kitten. Why are you pushing on my back? Do you need attention? She's like stepping on me. But yeah, anyway, alright, let me scroll back and make sure I didn't miss anything over here. Okay, I don't think I did. I think I was pretty good about keeping an eye on it. Cayenne T, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Well, yeah. Kitten, why are you in my box of stuff? That's not a bed for you. You're in my sewing box. Like, sir. No, you cannot. No, you may not have a plastic bag. Plastic bags are not toys. I know you found one the other day and you were carrying it around and you were very excited to have a crinkly bag, but I cannot let you. It is not safe. Silly kitten. The cat meows in the background are so cute. I love how talkative he is. Like, Wednesday is talkative in the morning, and she screams until she is fed. First thing in the morning. She gets very vocal about breakfast. And he gets very talkative in the evening. And so it's usually him that you're hearing in the background. And then Clover, of course, when she wants him to play with her. He is definitely more interested in the dog than Wednesday is. Wednesday is definitely, like, not interested in Clover. I miss having my talkative kitty. Oh, I'm sorry. These guys, I think, were just meant to be in our house. You know? Like, just everything lined up kind of perfectly with their story and how we ended up with them. So, I think they were meant to be. As she, like, just chills behind me here. She's so cute. And sweet and snuggly. Clover, I know he's in the bed. That's why you have the blanket right next to the bed, you goofball. All right. Scraps. And there's our Mewtwo. Woo-woo. Fuzzies on it. All right. Now we got 5 for Brian to hang up when he gets back home. Eevee. Okay. Okay. Ouch. I'm just knocking things over. Don't mind me. Where the heck did the rest of the string go? I swear there was more. What the heck did I do with it? Oh, I dropped it on the floor. I just can't see anything because I have my reading glasses on, so I can't see anything further than like this far from my face. Quick question, do your patterns tell you which colors to use, or is it just the pattern itself? Absolutely, it does tell you what patterns to use. It is on a separate little page. If I could show it, that'd be great. So it's on a separate little page. It's got like a little chart thing that like tells you, it like shows the color and the symbol. It tells you what color it is. It gives you the name, which is not like an official thing. And it also tells you how many stitches you have of that color in the piece. Which I find helpful when I like pull a color and I'm having trouble like finding it on the pattern, like where is this symbol? And then I'm like, oh, it's because you only need it for like 4 stitches. So that's why I'm having trouble finding it. So then I can be like, okay, once I find these 4, then I know I'm done. But yeah, the patterns absolutely tell you which colors to use. Clover, you need to go chill. Like, you're super antsy right now. And I don't know what's up. Okay. Let's get Eevee. Okay, this. Okay. I'm fixing it for the one camera. I don't know what's happening with these cameras right now. Let me see if I can get these all fixed up. There we go. It's a little too close for me. There we go. All right, back to Eevee. And for my patterns, I actually include, for the ones that I make and sell and have on my Patreon and whatnot, the PDF download actually comes with the pattern 3 different ways. One of them is like a color block with the symbol on top of it. One is like black and white, like the one that I prefer to use. And the third version is is it's like black and white, but it's in color, so it's not a colored block with the pattern on, or with the symbol on top in black. The symbol itself is printed in the color that it is, if that makes sense. So like the symbol for this one would be like this shade of brown, like a blue symbol would be blue. But I like the black and white, but I know not everybody likes that, so I do the PDFs have all three options in there, and then you just print the one that you like. Excuse me, miss. No. You're not climbing all over my table. Thank you, little girl. No, you can't come up here. I know she's up here, but she's only going to be up here for a second, and then she's going to jump down. Stop. Go lay down, please. You're okay. You're like super antsy right now, and I don't know. Okay. Is it okay? It's because I let her lay in my lap last night when I was streaming Stardew Valley. She got to lay in my lap the entire time. So she is like super antsy right now, and she's like, why can't I lay in your lap again? And I'm like, because I'm not playing a video game, I'm stitching, and I don't want to poke you with a needle. Please understand I'm doing this for your own good, dog, which she doesn't understand. I like the stitch count because it helps me pick what color to do next. Yeah. The stitch count is like super helpful to me. I know not everybody cares about that, but like when I get a pattern that doesn't include the stitch count, I'm like, really? What size hoop is Eevee in? Eevee is in a 5-inch hoop. I find the 3 versions very helpful. I use one to see how it will be, and then one is the black and white to highlight and recount if I have any trouble. Yeah, definitely having multiple versions can be super helpful. I prefer it. I must hydrate. Water bubble. Cheers, Kaley. There's one. There's 2. And there's 3. I'm having trouble with water lately. More candies. Clover, I cannot let you in my lap. I know that you don't understand, and I know you're upset about it. You have every right to be. Oh, Vex. Some of those were for you. I told you, I'm like blind. I can't hardly see the screen. There was one more hydrate, so cheers, Vex. Hello, Dumpling and Cheeto. How are you doing? How am I feeling? I am feeling pretty good. I am doing okay. Dressing like a hobbit today was definitely a good choice. It helped my mental health immensely today, which was the goal. So, you know, it's good. It's good. I basically had worn nothing but pajamas for like a week, other than like when I had to leave the house. to take the kids to like their dentist appointment and stuff. So like other than that, I've basically just been living in my pajamas. And so today I finally got to the point where I was like, I feel like if I spend another day in just pajamas, because I didn't have to leave the house today, that my mental health is just gonna be not so good. So like, what can I do about that? And I was like, I don't want to wear clothes, like normal clothes. I don't want to just wear like jeans and a t-shirt. Cause, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I could just dress like an NPC and give out quests. So that's what I decided to do today. And no regrets. None whatsoever. I live in my pajamas. I very much live in my pajamas a lot. A lot of the time when I'm streaming, I am in my pajamas. Like, sweatshirt and jammy pants is my jam. I work from home and I homeschool my kids. So, like, if I don't have to leave the house, why am I gonna put on hard pants? Nobody wants to wear hard pants. Jeans suck. And it's too cold to wear, like, leggings and stuff like that. Like, even today, I was a little worried that I was going to be cold because I am just wearing a skirt. And, like, I'm not even wearing, like, my sleeves only come down to, like, just below my elbows with, like, this little sweater thing that I'm wearing. So, like, I was legitimately worried I was going to be cold today. But I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. Dress like a hobbit. And if you need to change later in the day, you can do that. I do have some warmer, like, knits that I could have switched into. It just would have, like, covered up the hobbitiness. So I decided to start with this. And it actually hasn't been too cold inside the house. Outside it was a little chilly. But inside the house, it wasn't too cold today. So I've been okay. And yeah. But my mental health usually tanks when my partner's out of town, so I was very much prepared for today. Today was so nice out. My kiddo and I played Uno on the deck. We had blankets on our laps. Aw, that's so sweet. We don't have a table on our deck. Maybe we should put a table on our deck so we can like play games and stuff out there. That would be a good idea. But yeah, that was my other plan, is like if I get cold, I could always put a blanket on. Stuff like that. So I had a plan. I had a master plan. It worked out pretty good. I want more of my closet to be NPC in a tabletop role-playing game-esque. But that's gonna mean me needing to actually sew clothes, and I have to be in a good frame of mind for that. So, not today. But like I have some fabric that I want to turn into another bodice. So like this bodice I just got at like the Ren Fair, but it's a pretty simple, like it looks to be constructed pretty simply. So I'm hoping that I can like make a pattern based off of it and construct a few more bodices, because it's actually like pretty comfy to wear. So that's kind of my long-term goal. Is this one's like a navy blue. I would love to have like a dark green one and like a brown one of some kind, like some shade of nice brown, so that I could wear them with different outfits and stuff like that. My freaking cat, I swear. These kittens are sometimes the bane of my existence. And instead of just climbing into the sewing box, she is now fully laying in the sewing box and just grooming herself. Just sitting in the box. cool. Thanks, Kat. Much appreciated. Yeah, if anyone has any tips or videos on like how to make a pattern based on existing clothing, that would be very much appreciated. Because I'm about to dive into YouTube. But yeah, the idea of like taking this and turning it into a pattern has been in my brain for months. Like basically since the day I bought this at the run fair last year, I have been planning to pattern it and make more. Because I can't be stopped. Why does that only have one stitch? You know what? I'm just gonna throw a stitch of this color over it. Because no one will know but me. And now you... Shh, don't tell anyone. This isn't the right color, but I'm just gonna throw it on there anyway. It's close enough. See, no one will know. That's fine. That does not get stitched. Okay, we're jumping up to his little paws up here. Is cross-stitching hard to learn? No, not at all. I have a how to cross-stitch tutorial guide thing linked in my bio. And I'm also working on a video tutorial series, like walking you through how to cross-stitch. But it's actually not difficult at all. If you've ever done any other craft form that is pixel art related, like diamond painting, perler beads, if you've made friendship, like the alpha pattern friendship bracelets, anything like that, then you probably already understand most of the like concepts that you need to grasp in order to do it. Basically, you're looking at a pattern and putting X's where the pattern says to put an X, and you're just stitching little tiny X's, and that's it. There's just a whole bunch of little X's. But yeah, definitely not difficult at all to learn how to do. Everyone can do it. In fact, my 9-year-old learned how to cross stitch when she was 8, and my kiddo who is 6 and is about to turn 7 in like a week is asking to learn how to cross stitch as well. So like for sure it's not super difficult at all. And there's definitely different kinds of cross stitching. So I do what's called counted cross stitch. So I'm working on a completely blank canvas to begin with. There's also printed cross stitch where the pattern is printed directly on the canvas for you. So you don't have to worry about counting or anything. You just stitch away. I don't personally do printed because the last time I did printed, I messed it up really, really badly because I didn't follow directions, but I was also like 12 at the time. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. And I've never tried printed again since then. I'm 33. I have sworn off printed cross stitch because of the mistakes that I made 20 years ago. So, that being said, I taught myself how to cross stitch after that first mess up where I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I figured it out and learned how to cross stitch when I was about 12 or so. And that was before you could just like look things up on the internet and just like YouTube everything. I've definitely like learned more and more over the years about like how to do things better or like best practices or things like that like probably would have been really helpful for me to know when I was starting out when I was younger. But that's part of why now I'm like, hey, I have this, you know, tutorial. It'll walk you through, you know, best practices or like how to make it a little easier on yourself to start, or like at the bare minimum be like, what in the heck just happened? I only threaded one of the strands through, I think, is what happened. That has literally never happened to me before. Ever. At least not that I can remember. Oh my god, where's the other end of this? This nightmare of... Okay, there's that. For the love of... It just, like, spooled upon itself. What did I do? I swear I'm a professional, y'all. And then I go and do stuff like this, and I'm sure you guys are just sitting there like, are you sure, Elle? Are you sure you should be teaching us how to do this? Yes, I promise I do know what I'm doing. I just missed one of the strands going through the needle and didn't even catch it. Until I tied it in a knot on itself. It's okay. Most knots can be undone with a needle. That is what I've learned. It's a matter of finding where the needle needs to go through the knot. There, I got it loosened on one side. Nope. That wasn't it. Being patient. Finding where the needle needs to go through, and then what strand needs to be gently, gently pulled to... Haha! There's one of them. Look at that. There we go. Now we just got this. Haha! See? You just gotta figure out which one to pull. Okay. Back at my base knot. Flattening this out once again. We're gonna make sure both strands are even. Snip. Fuzzies in the jar. And we are going to thread the needle again and get both strands this time. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. I do know what I'm doing, I promise. Don't listen to me. The rest of my life, I just fly by the seat of my pants and hope for the best. Here we go. Oh my god, stop grabbing on the corner of the piece. The sounds are making you sleepy. The ASMR of cross-stitching. Should I make ASMR cross-stitching videos? The problem is I couldn't sit here and be that quiet. Like, I talk to myself incessantly, and I have to have some type of background noise on. Like, I guess I could put on like headphones and just like listen to music to myself, but I probably end up like singing out loud unintentionally, or like talking to myself as the thread is being obnoxious. I don't think I could be quiet for that long. But I have been thinking about doing some more time-lapse videos where I like film myself stitching for, you know, however long, and then time-lapse it because I've done that before. And I think those are fun to watch. I'm stitching your Charizard pattern. It's a little messy. It's my first cross stitch creation. That's okay. My first one was so bad, I had to throw it away. Like, it was actually that bad. I'm not just saying that. Like, I didn't read the instructions, so I didn't know that you were supposed to stitch with 2 strands of floss, and I was stitching with 6. And on the back, it all kept getting tangled and knotted together, so I had like just these big lumpy knots on the back. And I ran out of all the colors because I was stitching with 3 times the amount of thread that you're supposed to, and it was real bad. So it is definitely okay for a first stitch to be a little messy. That is totally normal as you work through the process and figure out like what the best practice is for you, because everybody's best practice is a little bit different. Like, it annoys me when people say like, oh, this is the best way to cross stitch, and like I actually kind of make fun of that in my how to cross stitch guide, and I'm like, here's the best way to cross stitch. Figure out what works for you. Because literally every single part of cross stitching, there are multiple ways to do it. Even as far as threading your needle, there are like a bunch of different ways that you can thread a needle. There are a bunch of different ways that you can store your thread. There, like, and it's all just mix and match. There's just so much about cross stitching that is choose your own adventure, that makes it really accessible. Whereas like some crafts, like there's only one right way to do it, or it won't turn out right, and so it becomes a little bit less accessible if, you know, that particular method or something like that doesn't work for somebody. So that is one of the things that I really like about cross stitch, is that it is very accessible because it is a choose your own adventure type of hobby. All right, it is time to put our soul in our Eevee. I have a couple stitches of this brown in the eyes. Oh, you're gonna make me stop right now? Really, Kaley? No soul for this Eevee yet. We have to finish another hoop before I'm allowed to put a soul in this Eevee. But first, Michaelers, cheers. Kaley is bringing the chaos hard tonight. All right, what size hoop are we doing, Kaley? You keep redeeming them. You get to pick them for me because I am not good at making decisions. I am a bi-pan, polyamorous, genderqueer person. I make no decisions about anything. I do not like making decisions. Ever. Okay. I need a 4-inch hoop. I think you're 4-inch. Yeah, it's not a 3. 3s are something like that. Where are you? That's not right. Where are you? Come here. Get out of here. Okay. Here are our little 4-inch babies. First cross stitch, I didn't want to read up on how to do it, so I didn't realize that the stitches had to share holes, and it was super spaced out. See, we all make mistakes on our first one, and it's okay. The first one is a learning process, and then we figure out what we did wrong, and then we fix it from there. The very first pattern that I ever knitted, I knitted a teddy bear. Should have started with a scarf, didn't. Although, given what my problem was, I'm not sure I would have realized had I done it with a scarf. Basically so I made this teddy bear and I accidentally did like 2 rows for each. I thought you had to like go there and back, and that was 1 row. And so my teddy bear was like super, super long and tall and skinny. So yeah, it was a mess. I also didn't do it on Ida. That was a bad choice. I highly recommend doing it on Ida for your first stitch, for sure. After that, if you want to like jump over and try like waistcloth or like making dots on like something else, or like, you know, whatever, like that's fine. But like I highly recommend, at least for your first one, do it on Ida. My next one's gonna be Glaceon. I know that one better. Oh, nice. Glaceon is right there. The first pattern I knitted was a scarf, and I didn't match the needle gauge to the yarn, and it ended up like a neck brace. The yarn was tie-dye and it turned out ugly and stuff. Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Here are our 4-inch choices. So we've got Shellder, which honestly, Shellder could probably go in a 3-inch hoop, but it would be very much like Mewtwo, where it would be like, oh no. No, that one can't. There's a couple of them that probably could go in a 3-inch, but they'd be like real squishy. So we've got Shellder, we've got Weedle, we've got Metapod, we've got Staryu, we've got Spearow, and we've got Electrode. Electorb is what I wanted to say, and it's not. It's not Electorb. Could you go? I feel like one of them could have gone in a 3-inch. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be very mistaken. Oh yeah, he could technically fit in there. But I think he would just look too squishy. He would just be too squished. Shellder. Okay, I'm gonna do Shellder. Sounds good. And he is definitely going in a 4-inch. The 3-inch hoop can go away. There are only a couple patterns that are like legitimately small enough to go into a 3-inch hoop. Up here I have Oddish is in a 3-inch hoop. But again, Oddish is a little bit squishy, but technically it did fit in a 3-inch hoop. I don't know if my Oddish pattern is gonna fit in a 3-inch hoop. This is the old Oddish pattern. And Voltorb, which again is the old Voltorb pattern that somebody else made. So a lot of these are the old patterns that somebody else made. I have some of my version 1 patterns up here and some of my version 2 patterns up here. So, okay. Everything up here is made from a pattern that somebody else made, except Flareon, Sylveon, and the 3 starters and Eevee are all my version 1 patterns. Leafeon and Glaceon are my version 2 patterns. Everything else needs to be replaced. It's gonna be a long time before I have a wall that's entirely mine, but that's okay. We get there one stitch at a time, right? Take it one stitch at a time. All right, here we go. All right, please. Attention! Hello, how are you doing? Ah, get in there. Okay. Oof. All right, this is gonna have to be an E6000 super glue finish, cause that's tight. All right. The wall looks amazing. I want one. I love it. I highly recommend it for the dopamine alone. Every time I look at it, it makes me happy. I like making videos in front of it because I feel like it makes such a cool backdrop. Like we were talking about like doing other things back here as like backdrops for videos and stuff like that. And like this sidewall that you can't see at all is like half white and then like there's a line and then it turns brown over here. So like I might decorate like this with something else, like greenery, like plants and stuff. But I really like this just being like my hoops and stuff. So at my old apartment, my hoop wall was in my dining room above our dining room table on the wall. And it was a really cool place for it to be because it was a conversation piece. And people would see it and just be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And like past apartments before that, I had put it like in my hallway. Like I've put up the hoop wall in my hallway before. And like, it's just been in different places. And like, no matter where it is, like it always brings the dopamine. Okay, if you've never seen me do the E6000 method before, this probably looks terrifying. And I promise it's gonna be okay. And please just trust the process. And I promise it's gonna be okay. I promise. Just got off work. How's Eevee coming along? I haven't been able to join the last few lives. So Eevee, I was about to put the soul in the Eevee, which is our last step, is giving it some eyeballs. Oh, I just like flung fluff everywhere. Fling that fluff. Okay. So we were about to put the soul on and Kaley was like, no, finish another hoop first. She does not want Eevee to have a soul, which is kind of funny. But that being said, let me clean up my mess so I get less fluffy bits everywhere. Oh my God, they're everywhere. There's so much fluff. It's on my skirt, it's on my chair, it's on my floor. Fluffy bits everywhere. It's gonna be all over Shellder. Yep, look at that, covered in fluff. Okay, where are my pliers? Now that I remembered to just keep them in my drawer. I like how the pliers still, I still have a tag on my pliers. This shows you how often I use actual tools. I'm dying. I've probably had these for a decade. And I quote unquote use them for jewelry making, except I don't actually tend to make jewelry because I don't have the patience for it. Okay. Alright. Here we go. So, we are gonna glue the edges. And just on the inside edge, connecting it to the hoop as well. Careful not to get this stuff on yourself. Like, it's gross. Do this in a well-ventilated area. And don't use this if you're pregnant. Those are my warnings. E6000's nasty. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna go hide this in the bathroom so that the kittens don't get into it because they would. Clover, stop it. I know, you... Lumi, did I say your name again? Is that what happened? I saw you commented and I might have said your name. If I didn't say it out loud, I said it in my head and my dog heard me. Because she's over here getting in my business with the glue. Ah, I got it on the outside of the hoop. No! Ah! Mistakes were made. It definitely wasn't out loud. Okay, she just heard my thoughts. She knew that you appeared and she came over to whine at me. Okay, I need to like make sure it doesn't dry there. Okay, stop it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go put this in the bathroom. I'm gonna wash my hands. Because I can't touch anything because I'm covered in E6000. Okay, give me a second. Okay, there, you can see my skirt. Okay, don't touch the chair. Don't touch the chair. Don't touch the anything. Good Lord. Okay. Here, you get a chair stream for a moment while I go take care of this nonsense before it dries. It like, the water and soap kind of like made it dry on my hand faster so I can like rub it off like Elmer's glue a little bit, but don't let that stuff dry on your skin. It's probably not good for you. Banshee, hello, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. All right, we're back to Eevee and giving it some soul peepers. You can only put it off for so long, Kaley. Eevee needs a soul. That's where that needs to go. That needs to move. There we go. Soul time! Lumi, no! Eevee deserves a soul, y'all. Just gonna have a bunch of soulless Pokemon lying around, no eyeballs. Super creepy. It really is slightly disconcerting. I should release a line of patterns for Halloween where it's the Pokemon without the eyeballs. Like I just delete that from the pattern and delete that part of the pattern and release them as Halloween, the soulless lineup of Pokemon. Because let me tell you, a new Pokemon wall for Lavender Town, no souls. Yes, exactly. Let me tell you, when I made Jigglypuff and I saved the eyes for last, so creepy. Alright. Yeah, a little bit of brown and Eevee's eyes. Ah, my fingers are still sticky from the glue. Like, even though I washed my hands, it like didn't... I don't like it. It's like sticking to the needle. Okay. Ew. Ew. Oh. Remind me not to touch the glue again. It was my fault. I shouldn't have done that. Mistakes were made. I'll be fine eventually. It's not as bad as when... This is why gloves were invented. It didn't occur to me that I needed gloves for crafting. I mean, it probably should have. But it legitimately never occurred to me that that was, like, an option. It's probably also why, like, you know, paper towels were invented. I could have just, like, wiped it off with a paper towel, but I don't have any of those, like, within arm's reach. But yeah. I don't think things through ahead of time. Although I will say this is not as bad as when y'all had me touch the peanut butter. That was the actual worst. I was so viscerally uncomfortable with peanut butter. That's it for the brown. The peanut butter. The peanut butter incident was, so my dog has to take medication every day, twice a day. And she takes her evening medication just fine, every single day. For some reason though, she hates taking her morning medicine. And I put it in what's called like a pill pocket. And so like, it's basically like a little dog treat that you like stick the pills inside and you like pinch it closed on the top. So like the treat is encasing the pills on the inside. So that the dog will eat it without like spitting out the pills. But about 9 months or so ago, she decided she was going to start being a brat and not take her morning pills nicely. And so I had like a whole video series on TikTok where it was called Thanks I Hate It. And it was my dog's favorite game. And it still is her favorite game, honestly. Where she just gives me sass and just like gives me the stink eye and refuses to take her pills. And so everyone was giving suggestions on like things that I should do to try to get her to take them. So like pretending that I was gonna eat it, or like tossing it to her and seeing if she would catch it and just eat it that way, or like pretend to like drop it on the floor as I was like doing something else in the kitchen so she would think she was like sneaking food. And none of it fooled her, like in the slightest. But then one day they were like dip it in peanut butter. And so I like took this pill pocket that already had pills in it and I like smeared it in peanut butter and I fed it to her and she took it right away, which was great. But then there was peanut butter all over my fingers and it was just really, really gross. I don't like the texture of peanut butter. It's like sticky and oily all at the same time, and it's a nope from me. Anyway, but everybody else thought it was hilarious, so I'm glad I brought joy to other people, even if I brought extreme discomfort to myself. But yeah, that was the peanut butter incident. And I was like, even though my dog really enjoyed this, I will not be doing it again. But that said, when we were traveling across the US to move, on our move from California to Maryland, she still had to take her medicine every day. And we were like staying in hotels and like stuff like that, you know. And one of the hotels had like, you know, like the little sauce packets you get from like McDonald's that have like, you know, the sweet and sour sauce or the barbecue sauce or like whatever. So they had like those, but it was peanut butter. And I was like, I'm just gonna take some of these because she was having she like really would not take her pills that first day that we were traveling. And so I ended up picking up like the little cups of them from one of the hotels we were at. And so I would like push her pill pocket into that, and then she would just like lick the little container, so I didn't have to actually touch it. But I'm not gonna do that like all the time because I recognize like all of those little plastic things are like super wasteful. But it worked to get her across the country. So, and that was good. Keeping her alive while we moved was of the utmost importance. So that was the bigger deal at the time. I think I still have a couple of them left actually. But I'm gonna save those for like when we're traveling or like things like that. Like if somebody else needs to feed her her pills, she will take it a lot easier if they dunk it in some peanut butter. But yeah, I'm all sniffly tonight. My allergies are. I was doing so good with the allergies, man. My TikTok is being weird again. I'm sorry. We try some raw hamburger meat too. No. With the cats in the house, like, no. They would go ballistic on the dog and try to steal the dog's pills and stuff like that. Like, I'm lucky that they don't have a real interest in her pill pockets, like, already. I don't want to give them any reason to be interested. I gotta hydrate. Unicorn, cheers. Peanut butter and spoon and medication equal clean hands. Yes, and people did absolutely suggest that, and I had even thought it myself. But I also was like 99% sure that if I let the dog lick the spoon, it was gonna be a no from my partner. That was gonna like viscerally make him extremely uncomfortable to have the dog licking off of it. And other people were like, oh, well, you could like go to the dollar store and get the dog her own spoon. And honestly, like, she does take her meds. I just have to talk her into it. Yeah, wet, nasty peanut butter on your hands. It's gross, y'all. It's so bad. Like, and then the dog is like trying to lick your fingers and you're just like, just don't. Just, please don't. But yeah, so we, you know, I had considered like, you know, getting her own spoon that was just for her. But again, like, I don't want her to get into the habit of like seeing people utensils and thinking food. And also like, even though like, you know, people were trying to get, you know, everyone was having fun in the comments trying to like get her to take her meds in like get her to take them better or whatever. She doesn't have like a problem taking them. She will take them eventually. I just usually have to sit there and talk her into it beforehand. Usually lately I've just been threatening her by saying like, I can sit here all day. Like, I don't have to leave the house to go to work. So I can just sit here and hold this in front of your face all day. So do you want to sit here and do this all day, or would you like to just take your meds now? And then she just kind of looks at me and is just like, and like takes them. And that is legitimately the conversation I have with my dog every morning, is I have to give her a pep talk / threaten to sit there with her all day. Every day I have to tell her this, and then she's like, fine, I will take it. Because she is incredibly sassy, and she 100% like, she 100% understands people. She is refusing to look at me right now because she knows I'm talking about her. She 100% understands people, and I know people are like, she's a dog, she doesn't understand English. I don't care. I have seen the looks that she gives me when I say things. She knows what I'm saying, and she knows when I'm talking shit, and I don't care. If she didn't want me to talk shit, she should just take her medicine the first time and not make me talk her into it every day. She has choices. She's made her choice. Now I get to shame her. I will not make her wear one of those little signs that say, I refuse to take my meds, though. I had my dog on meds and a sausage treat. Nice. Very nice. They understand. They absolutely understand. She knows the choices she's made. It's, okay, wow. That stitch went through the wrong hole. Really? On the last one? Did I do something funny? Where the heck are you? There you are. I'm blind as a bat. Nope, that's one thread. I need both of them, please. The other way, Lynn. Give it to me! Rawr. Alright, there we go. Let's try this one more time. Last stitch. And we will have a happy little Eevee with a soul. Look at that soul. Our family dog used to talk back. She is sassy, and sometimes, like on the lives, you guys have heard her talk back to me where I'm just sitting here telling her, like, I can't help you. She comes to tattle on the kittens and she's like, Mom, August won't play with me. And I'm like, I know, because he's a cat and he doesn't understand what you want him to do. And she's like, well, get him to run so I can chase him. And I'm like, Clover, he's a cat. He's not gonna run away from you. That is dog behavior, and I know you don't understand that you're a dog, but he is not a dog either. Okay, this is our little Eevee. Eevee is done. Pretty Eevee with a soul. Yeah, Eevee's got a soul. My dog knows how to say out. Oh my goodness. She looks like a happy Eevee. Does she herd them? She doesn't. She doesn't have any herding instincts. But she will like nuzzle him until he like rolls over. And she like will like nuzzle his belly and like tries desperately to get him to play with her. Like just so hard, and it just doesn't work. She doesn't understand what she's doing wrong. And he doesn't understand what she wants. he desperately wants to play with her. She desperately wants him to play with her. Neither of them can figure it out. It's a whole mess. They're still, wow, that was an awful lot. Okay. Here we go. Our little Eevee is done. Do. All right, I'm gonna set Eevee aside. Ah! I threw Eevee on the floor. I'm sorry, Eevee. You fell off of Mewtwo. He abandoned you. He tried to get you to just jump overboard. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay. Let's open up a poll over on TikTok, and you guys can vote on which of the evolutions I should stitch next, because we still have quite a few to get through. All right, so the poll is going to be open for 2.5 minutes. Start. There we go. Okay, there you go. Y'all can vote. So our options, I have all the patterns right here. Eevee. Pattern, go away. Okay, so we've already stitched Glaceon, Leafeon, Sylveon, and Eevee. So we still have Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Espeon, and Umbreon. Those are the ones we've got. So if you are over on Twitch and you want to hop on TikTok to participate in this poll, you can do that. I'm going to vote Umbreon again. Umbreon almost won last time, I think. Was it last time or was it the time before? I can't remember. Umbreon almost won. But you can do that. My TikTok username is the same as it is on Twitch, except instead of a 0, it's a regular O. So just alphabet soup, all letters. But yeah. In the meantime, I am going to cut the fabric for it because I know what size fabric I need an 8-inch fabric, no matter which one we're stitching next. So I'm gonna do that. Can I do it here? Probably not. I'm gonna have to do this on the floor because this is gonna be too big. So I'm gonna do that really, really, really quick while you guys are voting. So, if I can get up without knocking things over, no promises, you get chair stream. Because the babies are sleeping. Can't see. Alright. Yeah, this is massive. I would not have been able to do this at the desk. That's okay. I can do it here. It's fine, right? Alright, cool. That is already 8 inches. So I have to 8 inches over here. Fold this up. How in the heck do you fold? It's too big. Okay, now we fold this way. Okay, there we go. All folded up. Here we go. Let's start this one. Okay, I'm back. Our poll closed and Umbreon won with 50% of the votes and shoot. Oh, I should move my trash can while I remember. Hey, I moved the trash can. Because I'm brilliant. Okay, I need to grab my thread because we're gonna need new colors for a new Pokemon. All the way across the room. Okay. Thump. And more thump. Okay. What's going under there? Okay. I can do this. I can sit gracefully like a lady, only not at all. Because I'm a goblin. I'm not a lady. Clover, don't look at me. Okay, I need my glasses back on. Now that we're back over here. Okay. Umbreon is your kiddo's favorite evolution? Yes. Yes, yes. Alright. The freaking phone spell it right. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. First, we have to put the Eevee colors away. Cause gotta do things in order. Okay. You need to be put away as well. Because otherwise I lose stuff. I don't have enough space. Okay. Good job. Okay, so I recently got all of the rest of the colors that I didn't already own. So I literally have every color of DMC floss now. All of them. There's so many. I felt like a goblin today. The only reason I didn't feel like a goblin today is because I purposely dressed like an NPC today. Normally I feel like a goblin. Normally I'm okay with that. Today I was like, if you're a goblin, then you're a queen. I am the queen of the tiny dice goblins, which is not as exciting as it sounds because they're tiny humans. But they decided I was the queen. I did not proclaim myself queen. This was like a gifted to me title. I wish I was kidding. Okay, all of these go in the other box. Okay, just that one went in that box. Okay. So yeah, I literally have all of the damn colors now. All of them! I've been wanting to collect all of them too. I have the DMC list of everything and have been slowly highlighting the list with what I have. Yes! I have all of them here. Between this box and my other box, because they don't all fit in a 12 by 12 scrapbooking box. You would think that they would. Alas, they do not. You go way back here. You go almost at the end. Get in there. Okay. Eat the food. There you go. Good. Wednesday? Why are you screaming? These rolls are with you. Wednesday! Did she get locked in the bathroom? Did I lock her in the bathroom when I went in to wash my hands? Shoot. Now I have to check and see. I may have locked my cat in the bathroom. Sweetheart, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Baby girl. Oh, I'm so sorry, princess. Oh, poor baby. She's like, no, Mom, leave me alone. You locked me in the bathroom. You didn't even notice I was in there. You're a void. How was I supposed to see you? Oh, my poor baby. I'm putting my thread on bobbins. So, I have fully bobbinated all of these. And now I want to try floss drops. And I'm like, I can't justify buying 400 more little thingies to switch to floss drops once I have them all bobbinated. That seems like such a waste. But also, like, I've seen how people like pull their thread off of the floss drops and like it looks so nice. So now I'm, oh, this row's gonna pop if I try and squeeze that in. Okay, this row, stay there. Yeah, even with all of this, it's still doesn't quite fit in here. Okay, we're gonna give you a little more space. Put another one over here. There we go. And 712. You can fit it. Okay. Okay. All of these colors are in. Let's pull our Umbreon colors out. Okay, so 310 and 5, 310 and 5, 310 and B5200 are standard colors in pretty much every pattern. 33, 71. This one. I can't see. 9 and 8, which are in the little box. Not the cat in the bathroom. I played Stardew Valley and Fortnite in the dark all day today. I feel like a cave goblin. I played Stardew Valley last night, and that was very good for mental health as well. I have never played Fortnite though. Definitely goblin goals. Not the cat in the bathroom. I know. My poor baby. I didn't see her. I didn't know that she followed me in there, and she is void. So how would I know? I thought she was safely asleep in her bed. Okay, I also need 6 out of this box while I have it out. And what's the other color I need out of this box while I have it out? 444. 444. Gold. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the side. Okay, back to the big box. 3023. I know you want to play with him. You can grumble about it. Okay, I don't have very much left of that, but that's okay. 3820 back here. $745. Come on. Okay. There's that one. And 721. Where's 721? Okay, I have another project going. It's probably in my other project. Okay. Let me see. I am making a fox to go with the raccoon. If you are on the Discord server, either Discord server, you have probably seen my fox, or not the fox, the raccoon that I just finished making. If you're on the Patreon Discord, you have seen the start of the fox. Or if you follow me on Instagram, I did post it on there as well. All right. La da 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 da. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, I can just go down there. Okay. Hand me the box. Are you in here? Hello? Hello? It's 7:20. 7:21. Yes. Okay. Cool. Yes. It was in fact in here, like I thought it was. Focus. There it is. Okay. Not the cat in the bathroom. Okay. It is another pet treat redemption time. Okay. We're gonna go like that. I'm gonna. Yeah, you heard me. I know you heard me. What would you like me to do about it? Aha. Okay. I don't know if you can see them. Tiny goblins. One for the clover. Hi, Wednesday. Hello, my tiny bathroom cat. Okay, let me. Rude. There you go, baby. Hello, sir. No, that's not for you, Wednesday. That's for your brother. There we go. All done. All done, Wednesday. We get one, because otherwise you guys start getting really aggressive. Hi. Hello. Let me make sure I don't have any more hiding. Hello, August. Little fluffy boy. Oh, okay. We're down. Okay. And pull this back. Bam. Bam. All right. So. Now I gotta look up floss drops. Look up the videos showing like how they like use their needle and like and it like pulls the thread out and it's magic. Tiny humans are still whole humans, something I say at work all the time. Yes, tiny humans are whole humans. I kind of prefer it that way as opposed to the bobbins. I don't know why. I mean, to each his own. Like I said, it's a choose your own adventure. My little human is beating up my inside. Oh no, I'm sorry. I bought cheap cardboard bobbins at the moment for storage. I had cardboard bobbins for a hot minute and then I switched over to the plastic ones because I just absolutely destroyed the cardboard ones. Like, just absolutely. Yours looks so neat. Thank you. I should really be rewinding my collection onto bobbins, but TikTok sounds better. I mean, hey, the wonderful thing about hanging out with me is you can do both at the same time. You can wind bobbins while watching videos of somebody else doing crafty stuff too. It sounds like that might be the way to go. But I also might be biased, and also I'm an enabler, and I will sit here and be like, you should do the crafty thing. And I will cheer you on. I think all of you should be doing crafty things if you are feeling up to it right now. It's fun to do crafty things while you have friends doing them too. All right, so I'm doing my grid on the back. Some of you have seen me do this before. Others are probably like, what the hell are you doing, crazy lady? Don't draw on your fabric. You're wrong. I draw on my fabric. It's okay. Procrastinating. It's okay. You can procrastinate too. That's fine. I can't for the life of me figure out cross-stitching. I need a teacher. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Look, I'm starting out a brand new piece. You can watch me and I can teach you as we go. I like to draw a grid on the back of my piece. Not everybody likes to do this. At the very least, just do what I did. So you mark off the center of your piece. You fold it in half one direction and you mark the center line. You fold it in half the other direction and you mark the center line. And now you've got your center of your piece of fabric. And that lines up with where the two red lines cross on your pattern. So that's how you'll know where the center of your piece is. So that's step one. If you don't want to do the grid, skip this next part. I like grids on the back of my pieces, so I'm going to do that. My son decides he wants to do most awkward night. I'm just trying to relax and crochet. I mean, yeah, that's what happens with the pregnant bibis. The bibis want to be active at night. Pretty kitties, they are. They're so sweet. Plans to get plastic, but the store is out. Ah, curses. I'll do the crafty thing once I get home. Do it. Grid on the front. I do not grid on the front. I grid on the back of mine because I don't want an extra step of having to either iron or wash or whatever you need to do to get, like, if it's a Frisian pen, you'll need to iron it. If it's a washable pen, you'll need to wash it. I don't want an extra step, so I grid on the back, personally. I was gifted a ton of thread, planned to get plastic bobbins, bought them. Now avoiding it. That's okay. I avoid things too. It happens. Now, how do you read the pattern to know what to do? We will get there. Okay. So first, I'm gonna do my grid real quick. So we'll start by doing the y-axis. So from my center line, so this is my center line. I am not going to be drawing this all the way out to the edges. I'm just not. You can, that's totally fine, but I don't. So every 10 lines is a darker line, or every 10 squares is a darker line. So that's what I want to mark out on my pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up from my center line, that is my 20 line on my y-axis. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be my 20 line, and then I need to make a 10 line. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I need to make a 0 line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is my 0 line. Okay. Now I'm going to go down and do my lower y-axis. So this first one is going to be 6 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my 30 line. And then I need a 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lost count. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's my 40 line. So 0, 10, 20, center, 30, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So on this pattern, it only goes down to 49, not 50. So this last one, I'm only going to go down 9. Yes, I'm counting boxes. So the dots, the little holes in the fabric, are actually the corners of your pattern. So wherever there is a symbol, we're going to be filling in from corner to corner and corner to corner to make a little X that is that box, if that makes sense. So this last one, I'm going to go down 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Here is my bottom of that one. Okay. Now, because this is the back of my piece, not the front of my piece, I have to rotate the x-axis, because when I flip it over, this is what the front is going to look like. So I want the front to match this. And I know that sounds crazy, but it'll make sense when I'm counting from where my starting point is. So my 20 line up here is 1 to the left of my center line. So on here, my 20 line is going to be 1 to the right of my center line. Trust the process. Okay, so that's the 20 line. Now I need a 10 and a 0. So we're going to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's our, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, yes, I did it right. There's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. There's my 0 line. Okay, so now on the other side of this, I'm going out 9 from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my 30. And then I need a 40 line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's my 40. And then this direction, it only goes to 43. So once again, I'm only going out 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, I'm going to ignore this center cross. All of the other lines, I'm going to expand until they meet up with each other.
rotate. That's my center line. I almost drew it out. I don't want to do that. Rotate. That's the one. Kitten, I don't know what you're getting into over there, but don't. Please. I'm begging you, don't cause troubles. Okay, so our 3 is on the left because on here it's on the right. So this is our top, bottom. This is our left. This is our right because when we flip it, ta-da! Okay, so the next step is I need to put it in a hoop. I have a pencil. Why am I holding a pencil? Okay. Where's that 5-inch hoop that I had? I really need to order some more 5-inch hoops. Okay. So we are going to center our hoop. I got a headache already. Then skip the gridding part. If the gridding doesn't make sense to you, just skip it. Seriously, just do that center line. You're gonna be fine. You do not need to do the gridding. That is just my personal preference. The wonderful thing about cross stitch is it is a choose your own adventure hobby. So if you don't like how I do something, there are a bunch of other ways to do each and every part of the process. So the next step is putting the hoop on. You don't have to use a hoop if you don't want to. I like to stitch in a hoop. Get on there, except the hoops don't like me. Me and the hoops, that we pretend to be friends. We're not actually. We're not actually friends. Get under. Ah. This is so much easier when you're not doing this on a lap desk. I recommend doing this on a table. Oh my God, for the love of God, get in there. It doesn't want to sit even. Okay. Okay. Are we on? We're kind of on. Okay. We're going to tighten this. It's going to be okay, y'all. It's going to be okay. I will prevail, sort of, maybe. Okay. So I'm just going to tighten. I'm pulling on the fabric all the way around and like making sure that the hoop is sitting as tightly together as it can. But I want to tighten the fabric all the way around. It'll make the stitching easier and it'll be a little bit better. When I grid, I make a center and grid out from there. Is that wrong? No. I mean, it's totally up to you the way that you want to do it. I mark the center of my fabric and I have that be the same as the center of my pattern. So I don't, some patterns, the center line is on a 10 mark. So it's fine to grid out from there. It's all personal preference. If it makes sense to you, it's not wrong. Like that's the thing with cross stitch. If it makes sense to you and your pattern turns out looking great at the end, it doesn't matter how you got there. It's a choose your own adventure. I missed the end of the grid, but that is honestly so satisfying. Okay, there we go. Okay, nice and tight. Okay, so I work in a hoop stand. Not everybody does. I didn't for years, but I recently got one, I don't know, probably about a year ago. So I'm gonna hook this into my little hoop stand so it'll hold it for me so that I don't hurt my hands. And also it's easier to show you what I'm doing. Can you just fold over nicely, please, so you can get smushed into the hoop stand? Thank you. There. Thank you. Rude. Is a hoop stand better? I would not say better. Like I said, everything is choose your own adventure. It is 100% up to personal preference. Some people don't even like stitching in hoops. They do free stitching, so they just hold the fabric directly in their hand the whole time. Other people like scroll frames or Q-snap frames. Other people, like, there are so many options. There are so many options. This is just the way that I do it. I've tried a lot of different methods. This is what works for me. And honestly, like, that is genuinely all that this craft comes down to, is what works for you. And if it works for you, it's not wrong. Like, That's it. That's all there is to it. If it works for you, it's not wrong. I prefer a hoop stand because I have arthritis in my hands. So holding on to a hoop or free stitching is actually really, really difficult for me. And I can only do it for about a half an hour before my hands start to hurt. But like I said, I have arthritis. So the hoop stand is kind of a necessity for me, especially because I am a professional cross stitcher. So like, this is my job. So I need to be able to stitch for hours at a time. If it's a hobby and you're fine with only stitching for a half hour at a time and your hands start to hurt, like, or if you don't have arthritis and you can stitch for longer, then that's fine too. My hoop stand setup. I have a video in my cross stitching playlist showing what my hoop stand looks like. I also have a link in my bio that will show you, it's like what do I use or whatever, and I have a link to this exact cross stand that I use. It's really hard for me to show it right now because of the way my situation is set up. I'm kind of wedged into a smallish nook corner thing between a dresser and a table and a side table and monitors and computers and cords everywhere. So unfortunately I can't show it to you, but I do have a video showing it, and I do have a link in the bio to the exact same one that can show you what they look like and like which one I use. It is so relaxing. This is super relaxing. Wait, can I see the back again? Yes. This is what the back of my piece looks like because I draw my grids in pencil on the back. Professional cross stitcher, that sounds like a cool job. It is. I am the luckiest person on the planet. I love my job. My job is to cross stitch and to make cross stitching patterns. It's part-time. It's not full-time. I would love to do this full-time, but I have special needs kids, or not special needs kids. They're kids with disabilities, so I homeschool them because it's a better situation for them to be here homeschooled than to be in public school. So that's kind of like my full-time job, is taking care of them. But this is what I do part-time as my other kind of like income source. But I love it. I should do this while amazing technique. I recommend it. I try it out. Like, worst case scenario, you don't like it and you don't do it again. But like, give it a try. Bex, cheers. Okay, so you were asking about the pattern and how to get started. Okay, so it has 2 pages, sometimes more. This one has 2 pages. So this is the pattern, and this is our pattern table. Okay, so this is like our little chart, and so we see all of the symbols down the side and like what color thread it is. But here is the number, the DMC number of each thread. So I like to start with 310 black because that will give us like a nice kind of like outline, or at least like a vague shape. So right here it looks white, but honestly it's these black, solid black squares, because you can't put a black square on a black thing because then it won't show up. But yeah. I'm so nervous about schools when it comes to my son. They're so bad these days. I graduated January 6th. Yeah, it's a lot. But both of my kids have ADHD. I'm fairly positive that at least one of them is autistic, but I haven't had them diagnosed. The other one might be as well. I have ADHD and autism, but the way that my kids present, they would not do well in a traditional public school environment. And I'm aware of that. So I do what I can to make it so they don't have to be in a public school environment. So I tie a knot at the end of my thread. Not everybody does that, but I do, because I'm going to leave this, it's going to get framed in the hoop. If I was going to put this in a picture frame or something like that, I would not do knots at the end. I would do like the woven under method instead. So then we're going to thread the other end of our needle. My ADHD was why I was unschooled, worked out really well. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of different ways to do schooling too. Okay, so 310 is black. Black is these big squares on here. Oh my God, kitten, stop jumping in that box. It's not for you. Okay, so these black squares that kind of like do the outline of this guy, is what we're working on. So I'm actually going to start up in this top corner because it's going to be really easy to count from the corner of the grid that I made to find out where I start stitching. So remember, the axis is flipped when this is backward. So we know we're starting close to this top corner. I'm gonna calm down to right there. So that is gonna be this top left corner of this square is where I just came poking out. So top left corner of that square. So I'm going there, and I'm starting with 4 stitches straight down. So I'm gonna do one side of my little X, and then I'm gonna jump back up and do the other side of the little X. 1, 2, 3. This one I'm gonna go bottom to top. Now I'm gonna jump back up here, and I'm gonna finish off all of these little X's. I thought you were always supposed to start from the middle of the picture. If I had not gridded the back of this and I had only done this middle cross, I would have started from the middle of the picture and worked my way out. I like drawing the grid on the back so that I can start wherever the heck I want. I don't necessarily like starting from the middle of the picture, but everybody has their own methods and ways that they like stitching and doing things. So that's why I keep saying, Clover, why are we barking? What? Hey, you don't need to be barking, miss. You don't need to be barking. So this is a choose your own adventure hobby. There is no one way to do it. There's definitely a ton of different ways to do each and every step of the process, which is part of why I like it so much. So those are our first 4 stitches. Done. So, wow. So from there, our next stitch is down there. So I just came out right there in this bottom left corner, and I want to jump to this top left corner of this one. So I'm going to go diagonally down 1 square. I'm confused where you're putting the needles in the holes. So basically, like each of the symbols on here indicates a different color. So I'm copying this onto here. So each of the holes is the corners of the squares. And so if this shape is filled in, it means I need to make an X going from corner to corner to cover up that space on the fabric. How expensive is this to start? How expensive is it to start this hobby? I would say that this is a very cost-effective hobby to pick up. You could probably get started for $20 or less at your local craft store. If you have like a Joann's or a Michael's, even better, because you can use like a 50% off coupon. All you absolutely need to get started is the Ida cloth, which runs somewhere from like $6 to $20 depending on how big of a piece you're getting, but like a small piece is really all you need to get started. You're gonna need a needle, which again, a couple bucks for like a 6-pack, and then you're gonna need whatever floss you need for your pattern. And you can find a ton of patterns online for free. I have patterns available in my Etsy shop for $5 a piece for the Pokemon patterns. But there's like a ton of free stuff that you can find online, like if you want to like see if this hobby is for you before you like spend a ton of money on it or whatever. The floss comes in like skeins that are like 60 cents a piece. So depending on how many colors you need, you can easily get started for less than $20. You do not need a hoop. You do not need anything other than the floss, the cloth, and the needle, and whatever your pattern is to get started. Like that's really it. I got the grid part. I can't see the actual hole when you stitch. Okay. Hold on. Is that any better? Hold on. I can't. I can't. Okay, can you see the holes now? So like, I zoomed in. You're very, very zoomed in. So I'm literally just like, I don't know if that's helpful. Okay, you're super, super zoomed in on Umbreon now. So I'm just gonna kind of jump a little bit as I'm following the pattern. I'm not gonna be able to show you the pattern because I'm so zoomed in now. So now we're just gonna keep following along the edge of this. This is another hobby I may pick up. I only have like 15. I'm a crafty person. What can I say? I am the same, and also I'm a little bit of an enabler. So me sitting here being like, you can do it. You can do the hobby. You can pick it up for super cheap. I'm not always a great influence. So I apologize to anyone's spouses who may hate me because I'm sitting here going, do it, do the thing. Love Maddie, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. You can do the hobby. You're honestly great. Your personality is beautiful. Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. Clover, you need to go lay down, honey. He doesn't want to play with you. I know. It's so frustrating. I know. He doesn't want to play with you. You don't want to play with me. It's a whole thing. Can't lay on my lap right now, though. I don't want to accidentally poke you with a needle. That would not be fun. Where's the hole? Sometimes I have a hole find it. But yeah, if you want to learn how to cross stitch, I do have a how to cross stitch guide linked in my bio that I wrote. And I am trying to work on some how to cross stitch video tutorial series type stuff. That'll be like kind of short form content here on TikTok. Am I good at following through with that right now? No, because mental health is supple. And I've been having trouble making content in general other than like outside of the live streams. So I am trying, and it is on my to-do list. I just have so many things on my to-do list is also part of it. Like I have so many ideas and so many things I want to do and just so much stuff that my brain is full and I don't have enough hours in my day. Or maybe they'll play more as time goes on. I honestly think at this point it's just going to be an ongoing communication errors. So like my dog doesn't even know how to talk to other dogs and tell them that she wants to play. They think she's being super aggressive. And the cat is like 8.5 months old now. The dog is 10. She's set in her ways. She's never going to change. But the cat is like, he just doesn't get it. And I mean, I mean this in the best possible way. He is a very sweet little simpleton. He is the sweetest cat on the planet, but he is not a smart cat by any means. So I just do not have a lot of faith that it's gonna click, that he's gonna suddenly understand that the dog wants to chase him, and I just don't think he's gonna be comfortable with that ever. He's just not gonna get it. I need the video. I'm very visual. Yeah, that is why that's partially why I do the lives all the time. Is you can like see what I'm doing and kind of see the process and stuff. I do also post the replays of all of the lives on YouTube because they are being recorded on Twitch and whatnot. So like you can go over to my YouTube channel and see like past lives where I also like talk through different steps of the process. So I will, you know, show the gridding process. I will show the finishing off process, and I'll talk through what I'm doing as I do it during the live streams. I need to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I'm at 5. Cool. One can hope. I love how playful he wants to be at 10. That's honestly great. Yeah, she, like, she's never been, like, a super, like, toy motivated dog. In fact, like, we don't even have any toys for her anymore because she refuses to play with them. She just wants to, like, run around, but she doesn't want to, like, actually, like, play in, like, a traditional dog sense. She just wants to, like, chase and be chased, but like for like 2 minutes at a time, and then she's over it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Just one more time to get to 11. I'm about to run out of thread. Finish these last couple stitches. I'm going to tie off. Seems like a bit of a malfunction. Yeah. The dog definitely has some malfunctions. That's okay. We love her anyway. She's on a whole bunch of meds to try to fix some of the malfunctions. He's gonna be okay. More thread. Patty Gallery Beating, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. And Yarn Designs by Megan, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate you too. Ree Johnson, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Some call it a bug, others call it a feature. I mean, yeah. If that's the case, my dog has a lot of features. Hi, Wednesday. What you doing? bottom of this little paw. Ah! I'm off screen. Sorry. I like zoomed in a bunch earlier. Fix that. There we go. you can just zoom in a little bit. So this, there we go. Thank you for letting me know. I was not fully paying attention. I look at like the comments and stuff, and I don't look at what I'm doing. You're zoomed in properly? I can't even tell. Okay. Wednesday, why are you insisting that that is a bed? Because I assure you, it is not. You sweet girl. What are you making? I am working on Umbreon. We finished up Eevee a bit ago, and everyone voted to do Umbreon next, so that's what we're doing. Do you work on anything else besides Disney characters? This is not a Disney character. I actually don't do any Disney characters. I won't touch Disney IP with a 10-foot pole. So, yeah. Umbreon, sorry, I'm not familiar. Is that a character or something? It's a Pokemon. It's one of the evolutions from Pokemon.
Wednesday. Hey. Hey, miss. Not a toy. No. Yeah, I can see you. I'm right here. Wednesday. Hey, leave it be. Not a toy. She's staring at me like, but Mom. No, he's not a toy. That's not embarrassing. It's okay. Not everybody knows that's what it is. It's totally fine. You don't have to be sorry you asked. Everything's okay, guys. It's okay. I don't make patterns for any Disney IP because Disney is Disney. So that's just my own personal, like, not wanting to tread into those waters. Thanks for explaining a better understanding of cross-stitching. Oh, I'm glad. It's no problem. That's what I'm here for. I still think it's harder than embroidery. I cannot get the hang of embroidery. My brain does not wrap around it well. I think I sort of liken cross stitching is a little bit more like paint by numbers. You're following the steps and like filling in the spots exactly the same. So if you and somebody else did the exact same the same pattern, your piece is going to come out looking the exact same. Embroidery is a little bit more like just free form painting. If you and somebody else like went to like one of the wine and paint nights or something, even if you're painting the exact same thing, it's gonna come out looking just a little bit different than what your friends looks like, even if you follow the exact same techniques or use the same stitches and colors and things like that. It's gonna look just a little bit different. So that's kind of how I describe the difference between the two of them. And my brain likes to follow the directions. Do these exact things and it will turn out looking this exact way and you'll know exactly what to expect. But yeah. There are more stitches to know. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more stitches in embroidery. I mean, there's more than just full crosses in cross stitch. There's half crosses and 3/4 crosses, and you still do French knots and back stitching and things like that in a lot of patterns. But there's definitely not as many as there are in embroidery. I think you'd be pretty hard pressed to find cross stitch pieces that have like Lazy Daisy and like stuff like that in them. Giant cone. You won Thread Chicken, congratulations. It's always a good feeling. Kind of looks like a funky stick man with an incomplete head. Yeah, a little bit. Gotta trust the process. It'll turn out right in the end. Alright, so we are gonna jump over. Alright, I do not have very much time left tonight. So I'm gonna do just a couple little tiny bits that are gonna need to be filled in. Just kinda gonna jump around a bit. He's dancing. He dancing. Aster, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. You love winning that Thread Chicken. Ah, sorry. I accidentally hit the phone. Funky Egyptian. Once we get through the evolutions and like the version 2 of the starters and stuff, I think I'm gonna start like picking them randomly and letting you guys like play who's that Pokemon as I stitch, because I feel like that could be really fun. That sounds fun. Yeah. I've done it a couple times with you guys. Like, that was a few months ago. Or a couple months ago. But yeah, I think that could be fun. one there. One, two, three. I'm not going to be able to finish up all the black tonight, but I can probably get a little bit that's on the edge of his tail done. So I'm going to come 10, 20. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. There we go. That is the last stitch on the black on his little tail. All right. So that is going to be it for my stream for the night. I want to start by saying thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I had a blast. I love teaching you guys about cross stitch, and like getting to do this with you guys a couple times a week is like it's like the highlight of my week every time. So I go live on Wednesdays and Sundays at 7:30 Eastern time. That is my standard stream schedule. Yes, Clover, I know we're finishing up so we can go to bed. I know it's bedtime. I know. So that is my standard schedule, is Wednesdays and Sundays at 7:30 Eastern time until about 10:30 or so. I do want to say a special shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. You allow me to continue doing all of the stuff that I love doing. Making these projects and making these patterns for you guys and making them available to you guys is what I love to do. Like, I have the best job in the world. So I want to say thank you to Sarah, Allison, Melanie, Giordan, Kaley, Alexandra, Chelsea, Shirley, Lynn, Amber, Lisa, and Demented Lemming, aka Avril. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I love you so much. To the moon and back. If you would like to learn how to cross stitch and you don't know how to, I have a how to cross stitch guide in the link in my bio. If you are on TikTok and you're like, what do you mean link in bio? Or if you're on YouTube watching this later, here is the link in the bio that I'm talking about. You can like click on that and go there, and it's got all the stuff I'm going to talk about. So I have a how to cross stitch guide. I'm also working on the how to cross stitch video tutorial series. I know I've been really slow rolling that out. Mental health is a bitch. But I'm really hoping that I will be able to dedicate some time to it, not this coming week, but next week, to really start get some of those rolling when my kids are on their spring break and they're with their dad, so I don't have to worry about them. If you would like to get access to any of the Pokemon patterns that you see me stitching on the lives, they are available through my Etsy shop for $5 a piece or through my Patreon. I have a couple different tiers. I have a $7 tier that gets you 2 brand new patterns each month, as well as Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and Pikachu. You get access to those all the time. If you are at my $12 a month tier, that gets you access to my entire library of Pokemon patterns. And I promise to add at least 4 new patterns to the library every single month. Last month I added 5. This month I promised to, or I like told everybody ahead of time, I was like, by the way, I'm gonna be adding 5 this month. And I ended up adding 8. So I added 8 brand new patterns. So currently the pattern library has 44 patterns in it. And I'm also starting work on the shiny patterns that will be unlockable for my Twitch followers to unlock for my Patreon subscribers to get access to through rewards once I have all of those built out. So I'm super excited to be able to offer that soon as well. I also have a list in my bio of like all of the stuff that I use. So like the brands of stuff that I use and like the craft stand that I use and like even like the little things like where I got my needle minder and like stuff like that. I have like a whole list. I finally made that blog post thing and got that linked over. So it has like all the little clickable links so you can like see what I use if you like it and want to use it too. If you would like to join my Discord server, I do have a public Discord server. It was built as a TTRPG server, so we do have like virtual tables and stuff like that if you like to play tabletop role-playing games, but we also do have a pretty robust craft section as well. So, you know, if you're crafty and geeky and want to come have fun with us, it's awesome. The community is really, really great. We also run a self-care challenge every month, where you can win a virtual game night with me. So this month we played Jackbox, last month we played Raccoon Sky Pirates, and stuff like that if you win our self-care challenge. It's like raffle tickets, so like just take care of yourself, and it's like super minimal little things like drink some water, eat some food. Like, it's great, it's fun. If you would like to be part of the private patrons only Discord server, you just have to be a patron at any level, doesn't matter what level. Oh, I forgot to talk about my $50 patron tier. I have another tier. It's for the Kit of the Month Club. So in addition to getting access to all of the library of patterns, I will also ship you a kit with everything you need to make your own Pokemon each month. And that is for $50 a month. I do have a limited number of slots open for that because it does take me time to build all of those kits every month. And this is a part-time job. But that said, I do still have some slots open for that. I am capping it at 10 patrons for that level, at least for now. So we'll see. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. That's all she wrote, folks. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. And I appreciate you all. You all are amazing, and I love you. You're wonderful. And I will see you on Wednesday at 7:30 for our next stream, where we will continue making Umbreon, who's kind of sort of starting to look like Umbreon, at least a little bit. I see like the eyeballs are helping a little bit. Anyway, I will see you on Wednesday. And with that, have a good evening, have a good night, and stay crafty.